Welcome back to season 2 of the Courtside podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Ki-Hoon Lee. In this week's episode, we dive into all the primetime games from last week, discuss my thoughts about the Jimmy Butler trade. We're also going to be grading every single NBA team's trade deadline in the 2024-25 season and more. Now, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn that post notification bell, like this video, and comment down below if you think Jimmy to the Warriors makes them the most dangerous team if they get in the playoffs. Without further ado, let's get into the games. So kicking off week, I believe this is week 17 or something. We got the Rockets. We got the Rockets and the Knicks. And honestly, my biggest takeaway from this game right here was that the Knicks are just better than the Rockets. I know that sounds like plain and like lame, but like, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, peeking at the Rockets, Men Thompson had 25 points to go along with 11 assists. Jalen Green had 21 points. Dylan Brooks had 11. Tari Eason had 12 points. And their bench was led by Cam Whitmore with 18 and Aaron Holiday with 15 points. Going over to the Knicks side of things, Mikal Bridges, Jay, and Karl-Anthony Towns each had 22 points. Jalen Brunson had 42 points. Josh Hart had 19 points. And their bench was led by Deuce McBride. Moving on to the next game, we got the Magic and the Warriors. And all I got to say about this game was that what is going on with the Orlando Magic? Like, have they fallen off? Like this team, not that long ago, was I believe third in the West. Not third in the West, third in the East. Sorry. Weren't they like third in the East at one point? Now they're like, what are they? Seventh. But anyway, peeking at the Magic, Paulo Banchero had 18 points. Franz Wagner had 21 points. Their bench was led by Cole Anthony with 26 points, and that's pretty much it. Peeking at the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins had 25 points in his last, I should say, primetime game. I know that sounds corny, but last primetime game as a Warrior, he had 25 points. Steph had 24 points, and their bench was led by Moses Moody with 17 points. Anyway, peeking at the next game, I believe we got, in my true opinion, America's game of the week. We got Celtics and the Cavs. And all I gotta say is that like this game showed me that these two teams will meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you can book it right now. Anyway, peeking at this game, because this game, not gonna lie, the score looks fairly close. But it is what it is. It is what it is from this game. Anyway, peeking at this game right here, Jason Tatum had 22 points. Kristaps Porzingis had 19 points. Derek White had 20 points, and Jaylen Brown had 16 points, despite not shooting a three, which is interesting. And their bench was led by Al Horford. He had 12 points. Peeking at the next game, we got the Cavs. Peeking at the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell went crazy. He had 31 points. Darius Garland had 25 points. Jared Allen had 17 points. Evan Mobley was held to 7 points. And Sam Merrill had 12 points off the bench. We get the next game. We got the Spurs and the Hawks. The last primetime game, or I should say, last primetime game. Actually, no, we got the Lakers and the Clippers. Sorry, can't read today. Anyway, this game, I mean, this game was like, this was all Lakers. You know, peeking at this game right here, Braun had 26 points. Rui Hachimura had 20 points. Austin Reeves has been playing really well lately. He had 20 points, and their bench was led by Dalton Connect with 14 points and Gabe Vincent with 12 points. As for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, he had 11 points. Derrick Jones Jr. had 17 points, and Norman Powell had 20 points. And James Harden was held to 7 points, and their bench was led by Bones Highland with 12 points. Peeking at the next game, we got the Spurs and the Hawks. The first ESPN game in what seems like a while, to be honest with you. Like, I could be wrong here, you know, but it's just been a while since we had this kind of game. Anyway, this was De'Aaron Fox's first game as a Sacramento Kings. Not gonna lie, it feels weird for me saying that because I watched De'Aaron in Sacramento. But anyway, you'll go over this game right here. De'Aaron Fox had 24 points. Victor Wembanyama had 24 points. Harrison Barnes had 13 points. Chris Paul had 11. And Devin Vassell had 20. And their bench was led by Jeremy Sohan with 15 points and Stephon Castle with 11. Speaking of the Kings, I mean, Trae Young had 32 points. DeAndre Hunter had 22 points in his last primetime game as a Hawk. Onyeka Okongwu had 30 points. And Dyson Daniels had 19 points, and their bench was led by Vid Krejci with 5, Keaton Wallace with 5, and Damian Barlow with 5. Damn. Moving into our next set game, we got the Suns and the Warriors game 2, and I just know this game. I watched the first, probably like the first quarter of this game right here, and this game was not fun. Yeah, I was happy that they played well, but this was like a you got hoed kind of game, you know? But anyway, peeking at the box score right here, Royce O'Neal, I mean, he went crazy. He had 18 points. Tyus Jones had 10 points. Devin Booker had 19 points. And their bench was led by Bradley Beal. Like I said, this was a you got hoed kind of game. Peeking at the next game, SGA had 50 points. Aaron Wiggins had 17 points. Jalen Williams had 13 points, and their bench was led by Isaiah Joe with 12 points. I don't want to talk about this game right here. Peeking at the next game, we got the Mavs and the Celtics. I think this was their first primetime game without Luka, if I'm not mistaken. And right off the bat, this was an ass whooping. This was an ass whooping. I know the score says 127 to 120, yada yada yada. This was an ass whooping for sure. But anyway, peeking at the box score of this game right here. Clay had 25 points. Kyrie Irving had 19 points. Dante Exum had 15 points and was mainly their bench. I mean, Najee Marshall had 20 points. Spencer Dinwiddie had 22 points. And Max Christie, in his first game against as a Mav, had 15 points. Picking at the Celtics, I mean, what can you say? Jason Tatum had 17 points. Kristaps Porzingis had 17 points. Derek White had 13 points. Jaylen Brown had 25 points, and their bench was led by Payne Pritchard with 21 points. Peeking at the next game, we got the Warriors and the Lakers, and my biggest takeaway was that the Lakers are looking kind of dangerous. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Lakers, they look kind of dangerous, you know. But right from the start. I mean, from this game. You got the Warriors. Steph had 37 points. Buddy Hield had 14 points. Draymond had 13 points. And their bench was led by Moses Moody with 14 and Pat Spencer with 13 points. As for the Lakers, LeBron had 42 points. Austin Reeves had 23 points, but with 16 free throws. That is nuts. Jackson Hayes had 11. Rui Hachimura had 11. And their bench was led by Gabe Vincent with 15 points. Speaking of the next game, we got the Sixers and the Pistons. And I got to say this. Detroit fans, they look kind of happy. You know, they generally look happy. You know, I mean, I understand the Sixers underperforming, but the Pistons, they look kind of nice. They look kind of nice. But anyway, Paul George had 14 points. Justin Edwards had 11. Joel Embiid had 23 points. Tyrese Maxey had 27 points, and Kelly Oubre Jr. had 14 points. And their bench was led by Quentin Grimes with 14 points. Speaking of the Pistons, not Cade Cunningham. Tobias Harris had 22 points. Asar Thompson, like his brother, went crazy at 14 points. Jalen Duren had 13 points, and Malik Beasley had 36 points. And the bench was led by Simone Fatiano. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. He had 10 points, and Isaiah Stewart, B. Stewart, had 10 points. Speaking of the next game, we got the Pacers and the Lakers. And my biggest takeaway from this game right here was that the Pacers are looking kind of funky this year. They generally look really funky this year. And I'm not saying it to make it sound weird. This team has been kind of weird. Anyway, peeking at the Pacers, Pascal Siakam had 23 points. Thomas Bryant had 13 points. Tyrese Halliburton had 19 points. And Bennedict Mathurin had 16 points. Their bench was okay. Obi Toppin had 14 points. TJ McConnell had 12. And Ben Shepherd had 10, but it just wasn't enough. Peeking at the Lakers, Austin Reeves had 45 points, which is nuts. And Rui Hachimura had 24 points, and Gabe Vincent had 12 points. And their bench was led by Jordan Goodwin with 10 points. Well, I truly believe this game was America's Game Week. I know I said that with the Celtics and the Cavs. I apologize for that nonsense. We got the Celtics and the Knicks, and honestly, this shows why the Celtics are the better team. But anyway, oh wait, wrong. Sorry. We got the Celtics and the Knicks. And yeah, there's a reason why the Celtics are one of the best teams in the league. You know, I mean, peeking at the box score of this game right here, I know new Knicks fans are not going to be happy with this score. But anyway, peeking at the Celtics, Jason Tatum, he had 40 points in this game. He actually shot the ball really well, which is crazy. Luke Cornett had 14 points. Derek White had 17 points. Jaylen Brown had 12 points. And their bench was led by Peyton Pritchard with 25. And Neemias Queta had 11 points. Peeking at the Knicks, Karl Anthony Townsend was held to 9 points, which is crazy. Jalen Brunson had 36 points. Josh Hart had 17 points. And Mikal Bridges had 14 points. And their bench was led by Cameron Bryan, not Deuce McBride, with 14 points. And finally, we got the Sixers and the Bucks in Hubie Brown's last game. And honestly, this game was not even close. Like, sure it was in like the first quarter, but this game was not even close. But peeking at the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey at 39 points, Joel Embiid in his probably his best game this season at 27 points, Paul George at 12, Kelly Oubre Jr. at 10, and their bench was led by Gerson Yabusele with 18 and Quentin Grimes with 10 points. Peak at the Bucks, Dame had 43 points, Brook Lopez had 15 points, Kyle Kuzma had 13 points, Taurean Prince had 10 points, Gary Trent Jr. had 23 points, Bobby Portis had 18 points, and AJ Green had 11 points. So that's it for this week's primetime games. I know that was kind of long. I apologize for that. It's just, you know, I'm out of country, you know. But now we're going to get into our next segment, which is we're going to be grading every team's trade deadline based on how they did. Now, keep in mind when I say this, there might be a little bit of some controversy, so bear with me. But anyway, let's get into it. So, as you can see here, we have a tier list, which is the top tier, which is love what they did, like they aced it. Then we have the next tier, which is didn't do anything, but I understood why. So this tier basically means like they didn't do anything, but like I understood why, meaning that like if they're like really good, which you're probably gonna see with a couple of teams here, I would understand why. Then they did okay, I guess. Like I mean, they made smaller moves, I guess. Then we got at least they did something too. Like they didn't do anything. They did something, but like it was just like a small amount. And then we have they didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Basically, it's the same thing as didn't do anything, but like they didn't do anything, which is basically me saying like they didn't trade for anybody, they didn't like bring a guy back. Like it's I'll explain how we go. So first up, we got the Sixers. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Or wait, did they do something? No, they didn't do anything. Like they got Quentin Grimes. At least they did. At least they did something. I mean, they got Quentin Grimes, but that's pretty much all they did. You know. Next up, we got the Wizards. I still believe that they did. They did some. At least they did something. I mean, they got some draft picks back. From the Kyle Kuzma trade. And I think they're just going to keep on tanking until they get like multiple draft picks. But anyway, up next we got the Hawks. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Like you trade away DeAndre Hunter, who's having a really good season, by the way, but like you don't get anything back. Like, what are you guys doing? Next up, we got the Cavs. Even though it was a small amount, I love what they did. They got DeAndre Hunter, which is huge because when you're going up against a team in the East, when you're going up against the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Bucks, like they're all very tall. And you look at a team, and the Cavs, they needed a 3-and-D wing. They got him in DeAndre Hunter. That's huge in that conference. I love what they did. Up next, we got the Pistons. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they did anything. And I understood why, in a sense. Like, Pistons fans, let me know. Did you guys do anything this, like, trade deadline? I don't know, but, you know. Next up, we got the Pacers. Pacers. I don't think they did anything. Did they? I could be wrong. I don't think they did anything. I don't understand why. Up next, we got the Bucks. They did okay, I guess. I mean, they traded away Chris Middleton, and they got Kyle Kuzma back, but that's about it. Next up, we got the Raptors. At least they did something. Like I don't know what they did. Next up, oh god, we got the Mavs. They didn't. Did they do anything? No, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. I don't understand why. Like I understand you got AD, but I still to this day, and I know it's been a few days, still don't understand why they traded Luke. Next up, we got the Nuggets. Correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Like I don't know if they made any moves this trade deadline. I could be wrong there, but last time I checked, they didn't do anything. Next up, we got the Grizzlies. They didn't do anything, but I understood why. Like this team is still good. I think they're like a top three seed in the West right now. They didn't do anything. Next up, we got the Timberwolves. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Like the Timberwolves, like they're they're in a mess right now. If you ask me, right now. Yeah, I'm just going. Up next, we got the Spurs. They love what they did. They got De'Aaron Fox, without giving up their young core, and they still have a lot more draft picks. So up next, we got the Jazz. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. But yeah. Up next, we got the Clippers. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. You know. Next up, we got the Suns. At least they did something. They got some good pieces. Not I don't know much about their new pieces. But they did something. Next up, we got the Blazers. Hear me out. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. And I understand my Blazers brothers and sisters. They're gonna attack me saying, "Well, we've been playing really well." Yeah, we have been playing really well. All right, but we could have got a lot more draft picks for Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, and Andre. Like, I don't know. Up next, we got the Kings. They did okay, I guess. I mean, they got Zach LaVine from the Bulls. Like, that's about it. Next up, we got the Knicks. They didn't do anything, but I understood why. Like the Knicks right now, they're perfectly doing well right now. They have to. Up next, we got the Pelicans. I mean, at least they did something, you know. Up next, we got the Hornets. They did okay, I guess. I mean, they got Josh Okogie, they got Nurk, but like they didn't do anything spectacular. Next up, we got the Rockets. Didn't do anything, but I understood why. Like this team is still very young, but hey, it is what it is. Next up, we got the Miami Heat. They did okay, I guess. I mean, they got some pieces after the Jimmy Butler trade, which is good, but it is what it is. Up next, we got the Bulls. They didn't do anything, and I don't understand why. Like, are they tanking, or are they just like I don't know what they're doing? I mean, they traded Zach LaVine, but are they going to do anything? Like, I don't know. Next up, we got the Nets. Hear me out. They didn't do anything, but I understood why because they're trying to tank more, and I think they're trying to get more draft picks back. Up next, we got the Thunder. Didn't do anything, but I understood why. Like this team is the best team in the Western Conference record-wise. They still got most more of the pieces. They didn't have to do anything. Up next, we got the Warriors. At least they did something. They got Jimmy, but that's about it. Next up, we got the Celtics. They didn't do anything, but I understood why. Like they're trying to they still have their same core. I mean, what can I say? Next up, we got the Lakers. The Lakers are weird because there was a trade that they did with the Hornets for Mark Williams, but now it's vetoed. I don't know. So as of right now, at least they did something. The Lakers did something. And finally, we got the Magic. They didn't do anything. I understand why. Like this team, I don't know what's going on with this team. Like this team is struggling right now. And it's kind of weird to me out a little bit. But that's me rating every single team's trade them. So what are your guys' thoughts on my grading? Which do you agree with and what do you disagree with? Let me know in the comments section below. And finally, I can't believe I have to do this. We got our courtside picks. Thankfully, there's less games this week. We're gonna start with Warriors Bucks. Assuming Steph plays, I will take the Warriors. All right, Knicks, Pacers. I will take the Knicks. Grizzlies, Suns. I'll take the Grizzlies as of right now. Spurs, Celtics. Great game. I'm going to take the Celtics. Warriors, Mavs. I am going to take the Warriors now with AD hurt. And Thunder Timberwolves, I'll take the Thunder. That is my courtside hierarchy ranking, courtside picks. And now moving on to our final segment, we're going to give our top 10 teams from the trade deadline. So I think we got the top four. I'll take OKC at one. We got OKC one. We got OKC one. We got Cleveland two. We got Boston three. I will put the Knicks. Where are the Knicks? I'll put the Knicks at four. Knicks at four. I'll put the Rockets at five. Um, Grizzlies at six. Seven, I'm gonna go Bucks. Eight, I'll go Lakers. Nine, I guess I'll go Phoenix. And 10, I'll go Golden State. And those are my courtside picks, courtside hierarchy ranking for week 17. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. If you did, please get a like, subscribe, turn on post notification bell. Next week, I will be officially back in the States, and I'll probably upload next week's episode, maybe next Sunday. I haven't decided yet just because, there's a lot of things going on right now off camera. But we have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, stay warm, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.